Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marvel Plus, the podcast devoted to all things MCU. My name is Brett Scott. I am your host, and this is the show. The show on the go. As you can probably hear, and if you're watching on Patreon, you know that I am in the car right now on the highway. So bear with me if I'm not referring to notes or not catching certain things from the episode. That's what we got a guest for. So today we were supposed to be doing the final episode of a trilogy with Ryan Fraseri, and unfortunately we weren't able to make the schedules work. He needed to record Friday night. I was not able to record Friday night, and we ended up not being able to finish off the trilogy. So we got a crappy stand-in. No, get out of here. Kurt Schmidt is one of my favorite people. Well, he's been on the podcast so many times. We talk way more outside of podcasting than we do on the podcast. We're buddies, man. We're friends. And it's all because of podcasting. It's all because of the Uncanny X-Cast and the Uncanny X-Cast group and Marvel Plus, and it's wild how we've even gotten here. But Kurt and I are actually friends outside of this. We talk on a regular basis. And I hit him up and I said, hey, man, I was supposed to record with Ryan. I'm wondering if you can jump in because I'm not able to record with him. He's already got someone else to record with. And I don't have anyone. Would you be willing to do it? Kurt said, yeah, man, I'll do it. And then we figured out a time, and here we are. I'm on the road. Kurt's in his beautiful, office studio with just shelves and shelves of comics and trade paperbacks and omnibuses. And good Lord, Kurt, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, what's up, Brad? Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm very impressed by this background. I almost can't. I keep taking my eyes off the road, and it's real. It's a lot. There's a lot of money behind you, Kurt.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there is. Yeah, if you go off of sticker MSRP price, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm the cheapest person around though, man. I'm a bargain hunter to the core. I'm half this stuff. They're not even 90% of it was bought like from $5 boxes at conventions or 50% off sales or something. Even the omnibuses, man. I've gotten omnibuses behind me that I paid like $25 for, or some maybe even less at times. Because if there's a bargain to be had, I'm there.
It's incredible, man. Yeah. So we were just talking before we started recording about Ryan Fraseri's Talking Snick podcast, and he had Steve Banvard on this week. And Steve Banvard is like a self-made encyclopedia of like not only comic books but podcasts and movies and music. And the dude, it's like once he reads it or once he takes notes on it, he remembers it forever. He's got the steel trap mind. And Kurt's telling me just how impressive the episode is over. I'm like, man, you're like really kind of putting the pressure on, dude. Like I can't compete with that. I can't compete with Banvard and Fraseri. That's like a dream team of podcast.
We're gonna go the opposite with that, Brett. We're gonna go like you want to hear in-depth analysis? Head over there. You want to hear some crazy shit? You're in the right place. You want to hear off the wall, inaccurate commentary on this episode?
Yeah.
You've come to the right place.
Yeah. You want us to miss whole scenes of the episode talking, and you want to yell at your phone like, dude, what are you guys talking about? Yeah, I can't believe you skipped the best part. You know, if you want that, this is the podcast for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you want every detail and lyric to the song in the background in the opening scene, Fraseri's got that.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Now that I've pushed half the audience away to another podcast, we are here to talk about Tolerance is Extinction, Part 3, which is the season finale of X-Men 97. Now, you were on for an early episode of X-Men 97. You were loving it a lot, just like me and everyone else. What did you think overall about the whole package from episode 1 to episode 10, the stories that they told? How are you feeling about X-Men 97?
I love it. I think it's the best thing Marvel has put out in years. The best thing on Disney Plus by far, and the best Marvel product maybe since, I don't know. Every time I come on something, I'm always comparing it to some other random movie that they did. Maybe since Iron Man, it's the best thing. I'm gonna go way back.
Okay, all right. Well, there may be a little bit of bias because you are an X-Men guy at heart. I feel like I know that. I mean, for God's sakes, we met in a group devoted to a podcast devoted to the X-Men,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's your bread and butter. You love X-Men, and I am finally. I've always loved X-Men, but I had never read through like the great stories in the comics, and here I am now. I'm working my way through the Claremont run, and I'm absolutely loving it, dude. Like I'm like, why didn't I read this sooner? But I think I'm reading that at the perfect time, man, because it feels like X-Men season. Doesn't it feel like it's time? Like here we go. Now it's time for X-Men. We got this animated series. We know X-Men stuff's coming up live action. We know we've got several more seasons of this animated series to come, and people are getting hyped, dude. Deadpool and Wolverine. This is all X-Men universe stuff. Like it, I haven't seen people this excited for anything like MCU or pop culture, even like movie wise. Haven't seen anyone this hyped as they are about the X-Men right now. The X-Men are a hot commodity again, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. I was talking at work. I was talking with the apprentice I have about the cartoon show about 97, and then
Yeah.
There's a guy walking by, and he's like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" And I told him, and I'm like, "Man, have you watched it?" He's like, "No, man, but I loved that show when I was a kid." He's maybe a few years older than me, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, well, you got to check it out. You got Disney Plus. You got to check it out." And that was maybe a couple weeks ago. I ran into him on Thursday, and we're
Uh,
just passing in the hallways, and he stopped me, and he's like, "Dude, I started watching that show." He's like, "Man, it's fucking awesome. It's great. I
yeah.
can't believe, like, yeah, thanks for turning." He's like, I just started watching it the other day," and he's like, "Man, it's wild." Yeah, what it's done for people, like, it's crazy. My son, he's excited. I watch it with him. He's 11. He's excited to watch it every week. I don't have to force him. I don't have to really nag him or anything like, "Hey, it's just our schedules don't line up. Me and my son, our schedules don't line up that well. So it's a little tricky at times to watch it." But he's just as excited, which I haven't seen, and I can't remember the last time he was excited to watch something.
And that's crazy because these are normies we're talking about. These aren't comic book heads. These aren't people
Yeah.
who have loved the X-Men their entire lives. Like your friend at work had seen the animated show when he was a kid. That's his exposure to X-Men, really. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know, same thing with me. Like my daughter loves it. Yeah, like you said, your son is
Yeah.
enjoying it. Other Marvel products that have come out. So,
Dude,
I, it's, I,
the apprentice I have at work has
mm,
never watched, not in the superheroes at all. 24-year-old girl, never cared for the X-Men or whatever.
yeah,
Um, watched the series, has gone on to watch all of X-Men Evolution, went to Free Comic Book Day, got comic books, is
get out of
reading X-Men Evolution, has started watching X-Men movies. I think prior to this, she watched
here.
like one of the X-Men movies because it's got the chick from Hunger Games in it. But
Uh-huh.
then otherwise, never watched anything. Now, like at break, I'm like, "Oh, did you see the new Deadpool, the Deadpool commercial or whatever?" And I've like if you're gonna watch Deadpool, Wolverine, you got to watch these handful of movies. Now she's gone back and watched X-Men movies. She's totally into it. Like
That's wild.
it's crazy. This cartoon series, man, it's wild what it's done.
Yeah.
It's like they I feel like they've done a great job of capturing like what the original animated series did. You know?
Yeah, but not only that, like it. So we were talking about normies loving it. Like they also got the comic book fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're loving it too. Like it's not just a certain subset of fans, right? It's not just your normie moviegoers. It's not just the kids who knew the cartoon when they were kids and that's it. It's also like, a lot of times when comic book stuff comes out or superhero stuff comes out, it's like it's pretty easy to capture the general audience, but to get the people who know the stories from the comics and stuff as well to enjoy it, it's like you got to have something special because they're picking it apart. They're like, oh, but it was so much better in the comics. Oh, this was so much better. Like, oh, it didn't happen like that. It should have been like this. Like, but people are loving it, man. Like people who are well versed in the stories that they're telling on screen are still loving the adaptation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
awesome,
man.
dude.
It's that's what I think that's what happens, and you end up having like you have like longtime fans like adapting the stuff. You know, that's I think the one guy with I forget his name, the producer with the OnlyFans page.
Yeah, the
He's
Mayo.
yeah, DeMayo, Bo. He's uh he's a longtime fan, and it shows, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that those so far the MCU too as well is like it was when the people who had genuine love for this stuff were hands on with these movies.
Yes.
It's when they were making the best stuff.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
then when they
Yeah.
tried to do too much and just kind of go like, okay, you get this project, you get this project, you get this one, like then it started to suffer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I think we need to get back to that. It seems like they're trying to do that, scaling things back big time. One movie this year, and I have a feeling it's going to be massive. I mean, it's going to
Yeah.
be the biggest thing that's hit theaters in a long time. Like it's
Yeah.
going to be up there. People are going to be looking at it like Barbenheimer, right? Like it's going to take over, dude, for a
Yeah.
short period of time this summer. It's going to take over.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so, for sure.
Cannot wait for that. Um, let's jump into the season finale, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good.
So the episode opens up and you're not really sure what's going on here. It seems as though they're doing a flashback. It's like maybe right after or during the Vietnam War. There's music playing in the background that kind of alludes to that, like what era you're in.
Yeah.
Very much like Frisari knows, Banvard knows,
Yeah.
but it's a song that you would hear in any movie that takes place in Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
Like you've heard it a million times. One of those type of songs, and so it opens up, and you're like, oh, immediately, they're like, oh, this is like during the war. They're younger. Uh, Xavier and Magnus, Eric they're sitting in a bar having a discussion, basically about humans and people with mutations. And Xavier at one point psychically tells Magneto, uh, not knowing that he's a mutant, which I feel like he would know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's giving him his privacy, but he admits to him that he has um, mutant abilities. And then Eric does the same, lets him know, like I control metal. That's what I do. So, what'd you think of this little Vietnam era bar chat?
I think well, I think you end up stopping short. I get X, he ends up coming around and telling him to like reverse, right? Reverse what's going on or else. Um
Yeah, So you realize that they're not. This is not a flashback.
Yeah.
This is actually inside of inside of Magneto's mind.
Yeah.
And Xavier's trying to coax him back from the edge. I guess he's saying, "Hey, you gotta wake up. You gotta turn the power back on.
Yeah.
We gotta turn the power back on."
I think everything that you were saying leading up to this is like X trying to condition Magneto. I think Professor X is a horrible person. And
He is.
he's absolutely terrible. Because I think that whole thing, he's like in his mind trying to like coax, like, oh yeah, see, like I think he's just like playing it where like, I'm a mutant. Oh, so are you? Like we're here trying to just get them along the same lines, lead them down, coach them into it, whatever you want to say. And then Magneto catches.
Man.
He's grooming them. Yeah, that's the current phrase, right? He's grooming them. And then Magneto catches on. I think he hears like Rogue's voice or something. He catches on to it. X says, reverse it or else. Magneto basically says,
now
no.
it's or else. It was like, hey, we got to turn this power back on. We really have to. And then it becomes, do it or I'm going to make you do it.
Yeah. And then Magneto's like, no. X says, then forgive me. Forgive me for what I'm about to do. And like, forgive me for mind raping you. Like, he's horrible. He's fucking raping this guy. As he's raping this guy, he's saying, oh, please forgive me. I have to do this. I have to fucking rape you. Like,
yes.
It's bullshit. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And what is the subtext of this? That we are all X-Men fans and we all love the X-Men and they're led by this fucking rapist.
Yeah.
And they all follow him blindly. It's it's disgusting. Like
I'm telling you, man.
when he said that, it made me cringe. Like, oh my God, I wish Magneto would fucking take the adamantium out of Wolverine and shove it right through the head of Xavier.
Shove it up his ass.
Yeah, shove it. See how he likes being raped.
Oh God.
Fucker.
Okay. Trigger warnings on this fucking episode. All right.
You won't find this on For Series.
No, definitely not. All right. So, I was going to say, man, going back and reading the comics, and I was discussing this with Brian Perillo like a week or two ago. Magneto has always kind of been the worst from day one, man. It's just that like people didn't really recognize it. I don't know, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. But he's always been like this. This very manipulative guy who acts like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna make you do things. I'm not gonna take over your mind. I'm not gonna do these things. I'm not gonna read your mind if you don't want me to. Like, but it's all bullshit. He does all of it whenever he feels like it's necessary. If he's like, well, in this case, I have to go in there and
I think it's a classic abuser, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was supposed to be written that way. I think it started off, it was the 60s, and that's, I don't know, they didn't think they were writing what they were writing, but it's like...
It's Stan Lee. Of course he was written that way. Stan Lee was raping Jack Kirby while he was doing all this stuff.
Oh my God. Gross stuff. Someone say if they hadn't both passed away, he'd still be taking advantage of him to this day.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, I thought it was Kirby's wife.
Roz.
According to the X-Cast, it was
to the X-Cast.
Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's wife.
Stan dipped his pen in a lot of ink, man.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So back on track here. But you got notes. My notes are on the fritz right now. But you have a hard copy. So what happens after we get the Xavier forcing Magneto to turn the power back? He turns the power back on.
Yeah, he turns the power back on. We get some flashes around. We get that's where we get our first set of cameos. I want to
Yeah.
say I know I missed one. I couldn't write fast enough. I want to say it was Captain America. We see maybe first, then we see fan favorite Daredevil, which caught me
Yes.
completely off guard. I did not expect to see him at all. We
So
see Doc.
Cap was with Iron Man, so we got Cap and Iron
Yeah.
Man
Okay. Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Daredevil,
Yeah.
and
Daredevil.
then
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. That's right. Silver Samurai again, which we saw
Yeah.
him in an earlier episode cameo. Um, and then I don't think at this point we see Chloe back, but at some point, so you didn't even have that in your notes, did you? I told you something today.
Yes. Yeah, you got me.
And Omega Red too later, but
Yeah.
anyway, I think that is later. Like we get Puck and we get uh,
Yeah.
North Star and Aurora, I think, and like there's a bunch
Yeah.
of friggin' characters. I love that they're bringing all the cameos, not only through Morph, who like I posted something in the group I think yesterday, and it's like
Yeah.
all the cameos we got through Morph specifically, and it was like, oh, dude, it was a ton. You don't even realize how many people he changed into,
I
and
love
they were,
Morph. Yeah.
yeah, man, they used him so well, and I love how he just every time they go into battle, he changes into someone because what can Morph do? Like
Yeah.
he can Morph. That's he has no power other than he can change into people. However, I don't know if he was originally designed this way because I feel like in the animated series, which is where Morph first showed up, right? Like in the
Yeah.
90s, before he even made it into comics. Um, I feel like when Morph would change into people, he didn't also have their powers, at least not on the original series. I don't remember him being able to fly when he changed into someone, or um, I don't know. He changes into Psylocke at one point, has the psychic knives. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember him being able to use the powers because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like if maybe if he's changing into them completely, like genetically becoming them, then I guess they would have the
Yeah.
he would have the mutant abilities. But I never thought of that as a power set for him. I just thought he could mimic, kind of like Mystique, right? Like she morphs into someone, but she doesn't then have their powers. She just looks like them. Isn't
Yeah.
that right?
I think so, but I think it's like whoever's writing it, however
Yeah.
lazy the writer wants to be.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. It's like time travel and people who can morph into other people. It's
Yeah.
that's the easy way out of anything.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Alternate realities.
Exactly.
I throw that in there as well. All right.
Yeah.
So the power comes back on. As you're saying, it's flashing around the world. You're seeing these different heroes in different places. And the reason we're seeing that is we're seeing what it looks like when this power comes back on. All the Prime Sentinels start to spring back to life.
Yeah.
So shit hits the fan all over again. The Prime Sentinels start attacking around the world. And then what do you got next there?
I I got bullet points. I got Bastion, which I don't know how.
Yes.
I'm so confused on how to say this. I've never been more confused on pronunciation before in my life. I always thought it was like Bastion, and then
Uh-huh.
I hear Liefeld say Bastion, and I
Don't
hear
listen
other
to
people.
don't listen to
He
Liefeld. He
he
pronounces everything wrong. That guy, oh my God.
he
He does
butchers so
so much.
much.
Yes. I've seen him pronounce writers and artists' names wrong. I've seen him pronounce so many characters wrong.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah,
like, come on, you know that's not how you say it, right? That sounds ridiculous, Rob.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Bastion appears. I think that's where we see like the Prime Sentinels come back, because I don't have. And then we get our. Um, I don't remember what happens in that scene, so it's probably nothing much. We get we get. That's when we get the next set.
this is what
But
this is what you came for, folks.
it is. We're hitting the highlights, man, and
Hey,
we're giving you unfiltered opinions
yeah,
here.
it's a
And
conversation.
yeah, and then when we get that's where we get the next set of awesome cameos that you alluded to, where we get the where we got Puck and Psylocke, Cloak and
Yeah,
Dagger, Black Panther. We get
And we see the Sentinels are like kicking their ass at this point. Like Daredevil is thrown through a plate glass window. Like they're getting the Sentinels are winning at this point.
Yeah, they're winning. We have that's followed up by Bastion turning on Sinister.
Mm.
He
Yeah.
turns on,
Yeah. I don't even know if he like turns on him. It's about Cable, right? Like
yeah.
Bastion's about to kill Cable. And Sinister's like, whoa, 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 whoa! You said I could have him. Like this is not. No, he's my genetic. I don't know, like concoction that I made. He's mine.
Yeah.
And Bastion's like, nah, man. Like I do what I want. I'm gonna kill Cable.
Yeah.
So, did you skip over? Yeah, here it is. So you're like, oh, it must not have been that important, right?
Yeah.
When we first go to where Bastion is, we see that Cable has just drowned Jean Grey in a lake.
Yeah. Oh well, did he? I guess he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Sinister. Yeah. So it's got him in front of the lake, like on his knees, like saddened, and Sinister standing behind him, and like the lake. Jean's gone now. Remember, the last we saw was Cable in the last episode, like blasting her with psychic energy, and she's like, "I love you, Scott." Blah blah blah, and it was like, "Oh, she's gonna die." And then you see them in front of a lake, and there's no Jean. So I think that's what you get there, and that kind of foreshadows a little bit. Like if you know the Phoenix story, it's like Jean in a lake.
Yeah.
We kind of, it's a little telegraphed what might be coming. But I didn't know Jean still had it. Kind of seemed convenient that she just still has the Phoenix in there. It's not really there, but she could feel it still there, and
all lazy writing. And it's like it's comic accurate though too, because like whenever they need, like the Phoenix just kind of comes back.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
So
that power incarnate. They love saying incarnate in this episode. It kind of drove me crazy.
It's not just that either. Like in other episodes, they would say, "Yeah, incarnate." Like, come on, what? That had to be a Claremont word, right? For sure.
Yeah. I don't remember ever hearing it as much as I hear like this one episode. They said, I swear they said it 10 times. You could probably have a drinking game around how many times they say incarnate.
Yeah. It's kind of funny though. Like when I hear it, it's kind of like it's like there it is, incarnate again. They really love using that. But I don't know. Am I jumping ahead here talking about the Phoenix? Because
you're not, because that's the next thing I have in my bullet point notes is after Bastion turns on Sinister, the Phoenix comes.
Yep.
The Phoenix comes up, puts the inhibitor onto Bastion, and then pulls all the mutant DNA from Sinister.
Crazy. I wanted to ask. Okay, so we've already talked about the Phoenix thing, and it seems I don't know if I liked it. It seemed way too convenient to just be like, bring the Phoenix back. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. But in all honesty, they could have just used her to just win. Like she could have just come up, destroyed Bastion, just won, destroyed all the Prime Sentinels, whatever. So I'm glad they didn't do that. Just use her as the the fix all for this, because that would have been really crappy. But what did you think about what they did to my boy Sinister?
I thought it was kind of they really I don't know, downplayed him. Like they really made him into nothing. Right?
Yeah.
He's like, I think of him in the comics as like a big guy, a big bad, and then in this, you kind of get the idea throughout the series that he's a big bad, but then he just turns into like nothing. Which
it was sad.
It
was sad.
Yeah, it was.
I felt bad when I saw it, man. Like, anyway, when she sucks all this mutant DNA out of him, he basically becomes like, I guess it's kind of like if you took all the good stuff out of like if you had propped up like a I don't know, like a She's All That character, and then she's all hot, and then like take, but once you put the glasses back on, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, not really, but in this case, man, it was really. In this case, it was like, wow, he's like this shriveled little old man with a wrinkled face, a giant head. He's tiny. I mean, he looks like a hobbit. Like he kind of looks like a Gollum.
Yeah.
And I don't know, dude. I just kind of didn't like them doing that to him. Like it bothered me because, like you, I like Sinister. He's like this big, foreboding, scary badass. And then you take him down to that, and I get like what they're doing, but I don't like it, man. I don't have to like it, right?
Yeah, I can't. I don't. I don't like it in the same way I don't like Gambit getting killed. But then I end up liking it for the same reason why I like Gambit getting killed, because then it ends up feeling like, all right, like there is stakes, like there's like we're not gonna just see this person again or whatever. And Sinister, maybe you end up seeing maybe there's a story, probably not. Like they're running through storylines so fast, and they're running through people so fast that maybe it's just their way of taking him off the board, and
Maybe.
like, all right, yeah, we're done. You don't have to worry about Sinister anymore.
To be honest, they did utilize him quite a bit in the original series, so it could be one of those like, let's just kind of like they relegated Wolverine to the background most of the time in this series. It's like the main players in the old series are kind of taking a back seat a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then the people that should have gotten their due, like Cyclops, who's the fucking MVP of this damn X-Men 97. Like, he's so great, dude. Everything for like all the way up till at the end when he does the blast that looked like Marvel versus Capcom, like the big like, oh, he's a dude. He's such an awesome character. Like, I'm so glad that they did that. I'm so glad that they made him a badass in this show.
Oh yeah, me too. It was awesome.
But yeah, so Sinister gets reduced to a sniveling little Gollum and runs away.
Well, we get a great thing by Morph where Sinister runs up to him and like, show me what I look like, and Morph trolls him or whatever. He shows him and he's like, you look the same to me. You look like you always have, whatever he says, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then right after that, somehow the inhibitor doesn't work on Bastion. Like it works like
it's weird.
Medium.
Okay, so it works. It works to disconnect him from the Prime Sentinels. Okay, so all the humans wake up. You see that they're collapsing and they're becoming like normal again. I feel like that would probably be kind of irreversible, but whatever. I mean, there's still like hybrids running around with all this, like virus in them or techno-organic virus or whatever. But whatever, we'll just overlook that. They're back to normal. But so the inhibitor works because that's what it was meant to do, sever his connection. But then somehow he like powers up. He goes over and he just starts beating the hell out of Cable. He rips his arm and starts beating it with his own arm.
That is awesome. That might be my most favorite scene in this whole in anything Marvel. He rips off Cable's arm and beats him like a little bitch. It's awesome.
And then what I kind of, I mean, I understand because he's like a Sentinel hybrid, but he like absorbs Cable's arm and like powers up into this like indestructible armored version of himself that can fly.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't powerful enough, being able to teleport and all the shit that he does. But he becomes this like indestructible thing. And he announces like, you know what I'm gonna do? He's like, you severed me from my creations. I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna grab asteroid him, and I'm gonna slam it into the earth. I'm just gonna hurl it at the earth. And I love that because now like it's not so much about beating Bastion. There's going to be an asteroid heading towards the Earth. That's like a whole other thing they got to worry about. and it creates like probably the best part and the you know of the ending, right? Is like them having to band together to stop this asteroid. We also, do you have there that Xavier's still trying to now he forced him to back, but I think it's only because he knows if he doesn't bring him back, it'll kill him as well. Because Xavier's a selfish prick.
Yeah.
He only cares about himself. He doesn't care about bringing Magneto back from the brink. You know, he cares like both of their minds will be lost, is what he says. So,
yeah. My notes say X rapes Megs and tells him, "Trust me."
I didn't hear that, but say it again. X rapes someone again.
He rapes Mags again. He rapes Mags and tells him to trust me.
Yeah. He's gonna help him. He's gonna do what's best, right? Yeah. So he's trying to, and Magneto's having all these like flashbacks to like the horrible shit in his life, right? What people have done to him, what people did to his parents and his people, and you know he's wanting to just stay lost in his dark cloud of doom. And Xavier's like, no, we can work together. We have a dream. They never had a dream together. What is he talking about? He's gaslighting the hell out of Magneto, dude. Like, we had a dream together. No, we didn't. We didn't. Yeah. Magneto's always felt this way from the beginning. Yeah. That, like, humans and mutants cannot coexist. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Magneto would feel different if he could, like, go inside everyone's mind and make them do whatever the hell he wanted as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That might change your mind on a lot of things. So, I don't remember. I think we just kind of cut away from that.
We cut away. We cut away and we get Cyclops and Jubilee battling Bastion, and then like Jubes really gives it to him. It's awesome. Like we don't ever see Jubilee like this powerful.
Yeah, she gets some, man. She gets a few licks in, and it's like, not only her. We get like each X-Men, or it's quite a few. It starts with Rogue. His name was Gambit. Remember it. Bam. Yeah. Bastion's trying to like destroy the core or whatever, the power core of Asteroid M, so he can collapse it to the Earth or whatever. And Rogue just kind of zooms in out of nowhere, starts beating the hell out of him. And then all the X-Men get a turn, right? You got Cyclops, you got Jubilee, Nightcrawler gets in there and whoops his ass a little bit. But what we see is he's like a Terminator, right? They keep knocking him down, blasting walls, like, and he just gets right back up.
Yeah.
Next is, and also while all this is going on, like, we know that Bastion is trying to throw Asteroid M at Earth. So the president is there with his Magneto protocols, trying to decide if he should shoot some nukes up there to destroy the asteroid before it hits the Earth. So there are so many things going on at once here. We got the asteroid, we got the nukes, we got Bastion, and then we also, during all this, Wolverine's like in a coma, right? All bloody on a table. I didn't think we'd get much more from him. It makes sense that they would do this, like just have him like, you know, sickly and laid up for this episode after what happened last time. But he's in a coma. We get even Cyclops trying to bring him, you know, say stick in there. Don't die, Logan. Like, don't break her heart. And I think he was talking about Jubilee. A lot of people, because Jubilee was right there and she was worried about it. A lot of people were saying like he was talking about Jean. I'm like, no, he wasn't, dude. He was talking about Jubilee. That's like his little, basically it's like Wolverine's little niece, right? His little under his wing character. And they're close. So that's what he was saying. Like, don't break her heart, not Jean.
Yeah.
Why would someone think that? I don't know. Anyway, But that's it. Like for Wolverine, that's it. He kind of stays. He doesn't get in on the fight at all because he's on the brink of death. But something I didn't really like is once Bastion is just like starting to destroy, he destroys the core as it's going to explode or whatever. It's going to kill Bastion. Like it's like, I mean, it's going to kill everyone. This I understand that this is the X-Men and that's what they're supposed to do, but like this idea that they're now going to try to bring Bastion into the fold and like not destroy him, it's crazy, dude. That's one reason I wish Wolverine was there, because at least we'd have got his commentary like, no, no. Not only Bastion, but like Magneto, right? Like when Wolverine wakes up, he's gonna be fucking pissed that Magneto's hanging out with them again.
That man, I like that part. I like that part with Cyclops. I think this whole series with Cyclops is a man like battling within himself.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't know, much like he doesn't know what right from wrong. He doesn't know what to do, right? Throughout the series, and you could see that with his arguments with Jean when he's trying to just like check in with the mother of his child. Like he just cares. Like I don't know. Am I not supposed to be doing that? Am I supposed to be doing this? I think in that moment, like it's maybe not not the best moment to do this, but I think in Cyclops's, I think he has a realization that like violence just begets more violence, and like this isn't like fighting it's not help when his fighting with any of these people ever solved the issue. It never has, and it never will. So like why if and that's why Professor X always ends up failing, because he's a fucking asshole and he says do it or else, and it's
Yeah.
like you just do it or you don't do it. Like you can't control what anybody's doing. You gotta if you're gonna preach peace, then you gotta
Yeah.
be peaceful at all times.
I
And
get it.
yeah,
Like I get why, because I mean it happens in the comics a lot too, where it's like, we can't kill him. We gotta, you know, but
it's tough. It's not
just
it's not a great moment for it. It's
no.
not a great moment, but I think Cyclops is just like, you know what? Like we're trying to fight this guy and it's not working. Maybe I
Yeah,
should be taking a different approach. And that's man,
yeah,
that's what a great leader should be doing, right? The the
that's true.
the
Yeah,
the great leader should not like take nothing should be off the table. There should be everything. And I think like in that moment he's just like, all right, well, if Jubilee can't keep this guy down, maybe we gotta open up our arms. Come on over.
yeah. I just think that I just I feel for Rogue. Like,
Yeah,
come on, she would be so pissed at Cyclops for that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't be? Who? What
It's
of the X-Men wouldn't be pissed
it's
about that?
tough,
Like,
man.
yeah,
It's
he's got to make the tough
that
call. I get it, man. And it's like, yeah, if they're going to stand for something, they've got to go all the way and practice what they preach, or else they don't have a leg to stand on, right? With the
yeah,
human race when they're talking
yeah.
about peace, they'd be like, well, you've always just killed people that fought against you or whatever. So, um, but I just get, and I don't know. I also felt like because he was like a cyborg, it didn't feel as bad as like another human or
Yeah,
something. I mean,
yeah,
it's like kind of like killing a sentinel.
yeah, right.
But it doesn't matter anyway. Bastion gets sucked into the core and explodes with it.
Yeah,
Like, at least we're not keeping this guy around to join the team or something. Like, the dude committed genocide. We're going to invite him to hang out. It's crazy. Uh, yeah. Anyway,
it,
Bastion's
it's
dead.
it's not much different. If we start the whole season with Magneto becoming the headmaster of the school, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You're right, man. You're right, Kurt. I just don't like it, man.
I've been waiting all episode for you to say that. Thank you. Cut. End right there.
I get it. You're right, but I don't like it. We get so now we just have the asteroid to deal with, right? The asteroid is hurtling, and the X-Men basically are kind of like, this is it. We're going out. Like, what can we do? But then, of course, if we all work together, we could probably stop this thing. There's a chance. If we all work together, we can stop this thing. And so they all band together and each use their, individual powers and combine all of those powers, maybe have the ability to explode this thing or veer it off track or something. But we got each one of the X-Men doing their best. Cyclops is blasting it. Magneto's hitting it with the energy. Like, everybody's hitting it. But it's not quite enough. Not quite enough. It's still heading towards Earth until
Magneto returns. Apparently, Professor X got through to him, pulled him out of the darkness and brought him back out of it. And he emerges, and he's like the last bit that they need to be able to stop this asteroid, the last bit of power that they need. He envelops it in one of his force fields. They shove it out and into space, explode it. But right as this asteroid is being destroyed, the X-Men disappear. They get zapped away somewhere. We don't know where. We don't know what the hell is going on, but they're gone. They're just gone. They saved the Earth. The asteroid is gone, but so are the X-Men. Then we get this 6 months later caption, and we're seeing what's going on in the absence of the X-Men. The news reports are saying the X-Men have not been seen or heard from in 6 months, and no one knows what happened to them. And then we catch up with Bishop. Finally, Bishop returns, and he sneaks into Forge's lab or whatever, and Forge is like, "Who the hell are you, man?" Bishop's like, "Well, we're friends." Well, not yet, but we're going to be friends. But anyway,
Bishop comes back. He's chatting with Forge, and basically says that, well, what happened was they got zapped away through time. They're somewhere else. We don't know where, but we got to find them. And then we find out that, I guess we kind of already knew, but the X-Men are in different places. Some of them are on Earth. Some of them were up in space, right? But not only did they get zapped away, they got zapped away to different places. So some of them that were on Earth are still there, present day. Some of them got transported to the far future, and some of them got transported back to 5000 BC Egypt. And I love too that this is so 90s that they use BC and AD, because no one uses that anymore. But I love that they did in that, because it just felt like you were watching something in the 90s. What? Cyclops and Jean get transported to the future. Yeah. What did they run into there?
They ran into the clan Ascani, right? With with the child Nathan.
All right, so we got teenage Nathan and the Ascani in the far future. We don't know much. It just looks like it's desolate. It looks like they're in ruins. Like, a lot of shit has been destroyed, and we get this reference to the Ascani, which is like a weird religious sect or something. And I don't know how Cable gets from that to being what he ends up being, but maybe you know some stuff from the comics. What do you know about Ascani? Nothing really.
I don't know anything about that. This is where it ends up losing me. I don't do good with the different the future, the past.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
get lost with that stuff, man.
Doesn't matter a whole lot. Just think of the Ascani as like, I don't know, like the Jedi or something. And Nathan is special to them. We obviously we don't know why or anything yet, so we're gonna find all that out. But we don't know how the future
got the way it is. We just see this like, dystopian future. So and then also we have some of the X-Men. We've got Nightcrawler, Magneto, Rogue, and some others transported back to 5000 BC.
and they see this group of people attacking this person, and so they go and they try to help him out. And it's revealed that that person is En Saban Nur, which is Apocalypse.
Yeah.
5000 BC Apocalypse. And it's like, oh, snap. So then we go to present day and we see Apocalypse in present day at the Genosha site, the site of tragedy. And he's like, so much pain and so much suffering and blah, blah, blah. So it's clear they're gearing up for like Apocalypse is the big bad of season 2. How do you feel about that?
I think that's pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it. We didn't get any signs of Apocalypse, right, this whole season. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if episode 1 of the next season we don't see Apocalypse at all.
Yeah, you never know, man.
Yeah, or Apocalypse is there for like half an episode. It's
yeah, and they go in a different direction.
Yeah, it's tough to predict, man. I don't know of anything where it's been so tough to predict, but it didn't matter because it just like wherever they turned, I just loved it even more. It's like I didn't even know I wanted it,
Yeah. No, that's the best kind of stories, man, when you can just like let them take you on a ride. Like,
Yeah,
it's not predictable. And even if it is what you thought it was, you don't know how they're going to do it. You don't know, it's still great when it happens. Like they do it so well. I feel like there's a ton of ways they could go with Apocalypse. They also, so when it showed Apocalypse in present day, he picked up one of Gambit's cards.
yeah.
So, this gave, I think a lot of people were predicting that maybe Apocalypse resurrects Gambit as one of his horsemen, and that definitely opens it up for that. So we could definitely see like a villain version of Gambit for a period next season. I'm happy they went Apocalypse, man, because there's a lot of cool ways it could go. I think me and Fraseri had a lot of predictions of like what they're going to do. Are they going to do like the Schism storyline where the X-Men are split up? And it seems like they pretty much come back together. Other than, I think Wolverine's going to be pissed when he wakes up. And where is Wolverine? Is he in the present day? Did he get zapped to the past? Like, where is he? He's laid up, man. Did he get dashed away somewhere? And is he still like clinging on to life wherever he ended up? So I'm curious to see what they do with him. With his bone claws now. That'll be cool to see.
Yeah.
But the Apocalypse thing, man, it opens a lot up, especially when you're showing the future and stuff. Like, it looks like they're going to be fighting or dealing with Apocalypse in 3 different times, right? They're not really different timelines. Just, this is the future, this is now, and this is the past. I think they're going to be fighting him on 3 different, in 3 different times at the same time.
I imagine we'll get Apocalypse for a little bit. They'll segue into like I imagine we'll see Apocalypse, we'll see Onslaught. Maybe we'll see Yeah, maybe we'll see some other stuff too. Maybe we'll see Xavier's. What did he have? He had a twin in the womb or something. I forget how
Oh
that
yeah,
storyline went. But
yeah.
we're seeing her in the Deadpool movie this summer. Maybe we'll get her a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little bit of the. Well, I guess we probably can't get the Hickman stuff, seeing as he stole that storyline from that writer or whatever. So we probably won't see Moira do anything, but maybe we'll get some gold balls.
Yeah, well, that even kind of reminded me of the Hickman stuff when they, like in the Powers of X, where they were doing
Yeah,
like 100 years, 10 years,
yeah,
100,000 years, or whatever. That's what it kind of reminded me of when they showed that
yeah,
while doing something on different times. I feel like, it also opens it up too. Is like, say someone goes back in time, kills Xavier, and we get Age of Apocalypse for a period.
yeah,
Would be
yeah,
cool. I mean, just give us an episode or two, like, Age of Apocalypse Part 1 and 2.
yeah,
I think that would be pretty damn cool. Maybe even that's how they end it. Like they do a 3-parter like they did here, and it's Age of Apocalypse. We get all these different possible future versions, like Wolverine with one hand and Cyclops with one eye, and Gambit and the Externals. Like I think that would be pretty damn dope if they
yeah,
adapted Age of Apocalypse.
yeah, yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah, I think we'll. They got a lot of different ways they can go with this stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited, man. Like,
Yeah,
um, I worry a little bit with DeMeo. I think he did have something to do with maybe a little bit of season 2, but he's not
yeah,
on the payroll anymore. So
yeah,
you worry a little bit, but also you have to remember he wasn't the only thing of this show. There's a
yeah,
ton of writers on the show. It's not just him. He was just the head writer. He was like the showrunner. Um,
yeah,
but there's still really talented people who clearly love X-Men involved here. So, I still got high hopes for what's to come. And if it's anything like season 1, fucking bring it on, dude. I
yeah, for
can't wait.
sure.
I can't
Yeah,
wait. And I think they've been working on it already. So who knows? Uh, I'm guessing at least a year before we get another season, but hopefully not any longer than that.
hopefully not. I'm hoping for let's cross our fingers for the fall.
For the fall. Okay.
Yeah, man. I want fall winter release, something like that. November,
Okay.
December release.
Yeah. I mean, that, I don't know, seems a little too soon, honestly. Like, give us I don't know, give us a little time to cool off and really want it, like need season 2. But I feel like with Deadpool and Wolverine coming out in the summer, like we're gonna have plenty, but not too much. Yeah, fuck, dude, it was a great, like totally unexpected how good this was. Like I thought it'd be a cool little trip down memory lane. It'd be fun. I figured it'd be still pretty campy. But it was pretty damn serious and pretty grown up. I loved it, man. Like obviously they got to do the, you know, um, it's kind of corny that they like, oh, if we combine all our powers, we can beat the bad guy. Like, but the same time, they tackled some heavy stuff throughout the season. Like it was pretty damn dark, dude. You had a guy
Yeah,
suffering someone to death. Like it is wild how dark they went with it without even like, having to put in profanity or like anything sexual or anything like that. Like
yeah,
but they still went dark enough that it's like I enjoyed it as a grown up watching this stuff.
yeah.
So
Right.
couldn't be more happy with what we got. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Me
Well,
too.
I think we're gonna wrap this up. I just picked up my son, so we're gonna head back home. But dude, Kurt, thank you so much, dude, for coming in and saving the day.
Yeah,
Things didn't work out with Fraseri, unfortunately, but I think we just made a hell of an episode, man. That if not informative, is extremely entertaining.
yeah. For Siri, who?
Yeah, right. Talking what? Anyway, yeah, man. I hope to have you back next season when we talk X-Men. I hope to talk to you more,
Yeah,
man. Hopefully we have more stuff to talk about. before then. But if not, we'll definitely be keeping in touch regardless outside of this.
Yeah.
But you're definitely a shoe-in for next season, man. You're going to be on the
Thanks.
podcast for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, dude. I will talk to you again really soon, probably tomorrow or something while I'm at work.
Yeah, sounds good, dude. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.